What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC on ESPN, Overeem versus Rozenstruik, December 7th, Washington, D.C. Just happened a few days ago. Pretty decent fight card. It was nice little easing back into more fights now that the break is over. Was a bit of a pain in the ass trying to find a way to watch these fights. They were on ESPN. But the ESPN Plus app only works. You can only watch ESPN stuff if you have ESPN through standard old school cable service, which I haven't had old school cable service since 2006. So there was no way for me to watch these fights. I had to tried to watch them through the UFC Fight Pass app, and they've changed that app, which is just a nightmare to try and find anything. And I didn't even think they were showing up on the app at all. So, thank you for the UFC and ESPN for making their product extremely difficult to watch. So I had to find potentially, let's just say, allegedly nefarious means. I had to acquire the footage from the fights to actually watch the main card. I did get to watch some of the prelims though, so that was nice. Nothing really necessarily. A lot of there was a twister submission that was crazy. There was a lot of actually submissions early on. The main card started off Rob Font and Rick Simone was just a crazy back and forth fight. Went to a decision. There was a couple draws also in the main card, which was crazy. The Cody Stamann versus Song Yadong. Stamann, was able to land some takedowns, not really do much with the takedowns, and I think that's why he didn't get the win that kind of everybody assumed he had gotten, because Song Yadong lost a point with an illegal knee in the first round, and right away DC, and as soon as so he loses a point, and then just kind of lighting him up on the feet, but then Stamann gets a takedown. Doesn't do anything with the takedown, by the way, but he gets a takedown. So in DC's mind, who is one of the commentators, which I like DC, Paul Felder were both on the mic with John Anik, and I love both of those guys. There's only one person, one former fighter, which I can't stand doing color commentary, but thankfully he wasn't on this. I'm sure he'll be on next week during UFC 245. Dominic Cruz, who I'm talking about, just the worst color commentator. I guess he's getting better, but it's just really bad. But DC, once he got the takedown, DC's acting like he almost finished the fight. Like he was like, oh, well, that's clearly he won that round then. So he's, it's a 10-8 round easily, since it was he lost a point. And he just assumed that throughout, even though despite actually getting the takedowns, he wasn't really able to do much with it, wasn't able to do much damage. So I could see the draw. Aspen Ladd looked great, kind of got the finish in the third. Ben Rothwell kicked Stefan Struve in the dick twice. Should have had 2 points taken away, only had 1 point taken away. There were some referee moments that I really enjoyed. Like the Song Yadong, when he threw the illegal knee, immediately got a point taken away. Yana Kunitskaya was grabbing the fence, no point taken away there. But I think the referees might be getting the hang of taking points a little bit easier. But I would have loved to see Rothwell get 2 points, even though he ended up winning. Stefan Struve shouldn't have come back in after that second one. Big Tan Dan Murgliata kind of sold him on the idea of coming back. So Rothwell got the win, even though it was he wasn't doing good in the fight. He had some moments, but he wasn't. Stefan Struve was doing a good job fighting his fight. Then Calvillo Calvillo versus Rodriguez. Pretty good. That was another draw. Calvillo really turned it on in the third round, and I think that's where the draw came in. She got a 10-8 round from two of the judges, so it was a majority draw. Interesting. She was way off weight. It was a catch weight fight, 120 and a half pounds, because Calvillo was 4.5 pounds overweight, which is not good, man. It's not. I don't know if it's the second time. It seems like maybe she's had issues in the past. I could be wrong in my memory. And then the Overeem Rozenstruik, Overeem was able to get takedowns and kind of nullify any of the Rozenstruik attack on the feet, covering up really well. But in the last 4 seconds of the fight, Rozenstruik hit him with a left, followed up with a big right hand that just exploded. What you're seeing in the background right now is the giant, what used to be an intact lip of Overeem's face just got exploded at the end of the round. Kind of a walk-off knockout, even though Overeem got back up, but then just immediately just kind of stumbled towards the fence and ended up getting waved off by Dan Miragliotta again. I think that was the right call. I think Overeem, Miragliotta, it didn't look good for Overeem. He says it was stopped early, but his face got exploded, so I'm good with it. Good fight. Interesting to see Rozenstruik. It'd be interesting to see if he fights. I know he called out for Ngannou, so we'll see. I know Ngannou wants a title shot, so I don't know what fighting Rozenstruik will do for his path to the belt, but I know he wants to get more fights. So I'd be down to watch it for sure. But there's a big pay-per-view coming next Saturday, UFC 245 from Las Vegas. Usman versus Covington is the main event. There's 3 championship belts. Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski. Amanda Nunes versus Jermaine Durandamy. Marlon Moraes is fighting Jose Aldo, Jose is looking horrible in his attempt to cut down to bantamweight. Just a crazy, and Uriah Faber is fighting Peter Yan. So that's, just the Mike Perry is against Jeff Neal's the welterweight for the prelim cards. That's going to be crazy. Irene Aldana versus Caitlin Vieira. Matt Brown's back against Ben Saunders, so 2 old timies. But it'll be fun to see Matt Brown back in action. But yeah, hopefully Kamaru Usman gets a big dominant win. Because I'm not a fan of Colby Covington, even though it's an act, quote unquote, an act. He's still representing one of the worst humans, just all of the worst aspects of our country at the moment. So if that's your act, if that's what you want to live your life promoting that kind of bullshit. Just hopefully, I would hate for him to win. So hopefully Kamaru Usman wins. Max Holloway should be, by far the most dominant champion in featherweight. And then Amanda Nunes, by far the most dominant women's fighter, period. But should be good fights against Jermaine Durandamy. I'm excited for that card for sure. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to watching it from top to bottom without any hiccups. Because I'm tired of hiccups. I don't know what is up. I'm getting rid of ESPN Plus. It's a useless app as far as I'm concerned. Aside from the ESPN Plus cards, which I think if I use a VPN and Fight Pass, hopefully I can still watch them there. I don't know, but ESPN Plus is just hugely disappointing. I pay for an app, and I can't get the services unless I pay for cable service. That not only a cable service, it has to have ESPN. So it can't just be basic cable service. Not that I would ever pay for cable ever again in my life. It's been 13 years, 14 years almost. I'm not going back to cable to watch ESPN, only to watch UFC fights. It's just ridiculous. Go fuck yourself, ESPN Plus. But that's it for this episode. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.